DonInLondon, hello there. It's June 7th, 2009, and it's just 9 o'clock in the morning. A bit dark here in London. We had thunder and lightning already from about 5 or 6 this morning. Lots of rain, and all it said was light showers today, so who knows? Maybe it's only just started. Anyway, my video's all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. So why was I talking about the weather? It's what we do in England. So addiction for me was alcohol, my behaviour, trying to be perfect and never so, trying to work as hard as possible, trying to be in good relationships, trying to be whatever I thought I ought to be on a daily basis, or rather I wasn't quite sure who I was or what I was or why I was doing things. So life was very confusing, but what helped me most during those years and years and decades of not knowing who I was or what I was doing, other than trying to please other people, drink was my best friend. Alcohol. It took the edge off, made me able to suppress my feelings or feel things more greatly, depending on my overall mood. And it's not such a different story for most people, especially in the UK. We have a heavy drinking culture. So on the one hand, we see ourselves as being right in the middle of it because we can drink people under the table, and at the same time we have no idea. Our ignorance is not bliss around addiction. And it's very easy to fall into that trap. And the good news is I see people far younger than me, even in their teens, coming into the fellowship of AA, that's Alcoholics Anonymous. It's a self-healing process, AA. It can't tell you what to do. It can only offer suggestions about life and how to live it, one day at a time. And learning how to understand our emotions, what might be spiritual, and how to stay well physically, or as best we can with whatever else we've got to contend with. And most people have something to contend with, from backache to whatever it is. So the fellowship is full of people with experience, strength and hope, and they share it. And I cannot speak for AA, would not want to. It's full of unique, authentic people with their own take on what is life about. So all I do, go learn some wisdom, see how they do it, learn, and try and implement it for myself. Sometimes it seems like it just happens because I get to understand how life can be, and sometimes I have to really try very hard to understand what is being said, and also try hard to explain what is being said by others. And that can cause difficulties. Misunderstandings are abundant. So what is life about? I don't know. To be happy? I guess so. To learn, to get some experience, wisdom, make it worthwhile in some way. So we have to get the right measures, I suspect, as well. So my measures in the past were material success, what people thought about me, the type of car I had, where I lived, the overall impression, what sort of clothes, fashion, you name it. We all tend to go for the superficial measures, and what we forget most often, if we're addicts or in fear of life, and my life was very fearful, I guess, to be like that, full of ego and putting on a brave face. It was all about what was on the external, what was on the outside, what people saw. So if they saw somebody who was okay, they would leave me alone, and I could get on with my indulgences with my best friend, I guess, and people who drank as well as I did. But even though some people drank as much as or more, they are not alcoholics. Only I can say I am one, and that's it. I am an alcoholic in recovery, one day at a time. So we have the gamut of experience, strength and hope to learn about life and what we can do on a daily basis. That's what works, and that's the simple message which AA offers, with a 12-step program of action to change attitude and behaviour, to live well rather than to endure life. So for me, the fellowship got me into recovery eventually, and I had to have a lot of medical support, family support, community support, and I couldn't have done it on my own. It was the moment of clarity when I realised I cannot do this on my own. I need help, and then it wasn't so awful. I admitted and accepted I couldn't do it. So AA, what's it all about? And I speak here candidly about how it impacts on me, but I don't share about other people and their lives. Or I can just share in a general way about what AA does for us. So, every meeting I go to, there's a preamble, and the preamble goes like this. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help other alcoholics, help others to recover from alcoholism. I need a new set of teeth. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety, and that's all on a daily basis. And I'm just reading up a little card here which has I can't focus in, but it says that is the AA preamble. It's got the Serenity Prayer on it, and then in the middle bit it's got the 12 steps of AA, which are about people, open, honest and willing to change, and the 12 traditions, all about unity, service and recovery. So the fellowship is about unity, service and recovery, and we're all part of, included and not excluded unless we say we are. And the 12 steps are about how to keep sober a day at a time and make life, well, live life, no, experience life, experience the good of as well as the bad of, and learn some wisdom about how to make it, I suppose, more fulfilling and more rich. And certainly my life is more fulfilling these days and more rich because I have an understanding of who I am, and that only happens on a daily basis. So who am I? Don, alcoholic in recovery. And I'm so pleased I am, and I'm not gushing this morning, but I'm very happy to be alive, because without the fellowship and my family I would certainly have perished. This book, as Bill sees it, is a reading anytime you like, just to give a bit of moral support or thinking support or emotional support when you can't get to a meeting. And on page 124 it says here, freedom to choose, and I'm doing these in a sort of book order rather than any particular day. So it says here, looking back we see that our freedom to choose badly was not after all a very real freedom. Drinking, not a good decision for me. When we chose because we must, this was not a free choice either, and that's when I became an alcoholic, because I was unable to make a choice. It wasn't free anymore, but it got us started in the right direction. Then when we chose because we ought to, we were really doing better, and this is me into sobriety and the solution. This time we were earning some freedom, making ourselves ready for more, and that's to be included in part of life, not controlling it, not running it, but part of the whole thing that's going on around us. But when now and then we could hardly make right choices without rebellion, holdout or conflict, then we had our first view of what perfect freedom under God's will could be like, or good conscience, or just being included. So the real freedom really is to understand where we are and what we can do and what we can't do. And how often do we spend time in the past ruminating about all the things that we've done, and why isn't life better for us? Or what can I do to improve my life? And what can I do tomorrow, the next day, the next week or the next year? And sometimes we do need long-term plans to work out what is good for us based on a goal. But the more we stay in the present moment, the more chance we have of being happy, striving for what is possible, achievable, towards a goal or an end. And that's all about taking account of what is real. And for me, reality is spiritual, without denials, without filtering out, without our old ideas blocking us from new ideas, new ways of living, new ways of behaving, and loving people in our lives. So you could say AA can help people who have become derelict in every sense of the word and smashed to pieces come back to some sort of normality. And June 7th, the reading in this daily reflection, so I'll see how far I get with it before I have to sign off. It says it's about step 4, and it says, since most of us are born with an abundance of natural desires, it isn't strange that we often let these far exceed their intended purpose. When they drive us blindly, or we willfully demand that they supply us with more satisfactions or pleasures than are possible or due us, this is the point at which we depart from the degree of perfection that God wishes for us here on earth, or in good conscience what we are here to do, which is to understand the reality of now and live it. That is the measure of our character defects, if you wish, or of our sins. And I'm running out of time, so more about defects on tomorrow, probably. Serenity prayer, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to do this and know the difference on a daily basis. Long may it be so.